Hi, this is Mark at WebChartMD. For the next couple of minutes, we're going to take a look at the new Account Manager feature that we've added to the system. This is about a 20-minute training video on how to use the Account Manager. Let's get started. When you click into the settings area of your account, starting today, you'll notice this new functional area called the Account Manager. Now, the Account Manager is where you now can add new accounts yourself to the system without waiting or relying on the WebChartMD help desk to do that for you. And I'll mention that when you log in now, you'll see all of your existing accounts listed. And all of your existing accounts aren't affected by this new feature. In other words, it's something that we've added for you to add new clients moving forward, and none of your existing clients' settings or rates or pools or anything is affected. It's just for new accounts moving forward. Now let's take a quick look at how this works. And I'm going to use an account that I've already added, but let me just show you how you would add a new one on your own. When you hit this Account Manager screen, you'll just click the New button, and you'll fill in the information in this form or pane to the right. You'll add the specialty. You'll add the primary contact at the clinic or facility. You'll add their email address. Now, if you'd like the welcome email to come to you instead of them, you can, by all means, add yours instead of theirs. Once you're done, you're going to click the Save button, and it'll save that account just like mine are saved over here to the left. This is my test account, by the way, so this is all fake data we're looking at today. You'll also notice in the top right corner, you've got a Disable button. So if at any point the clinic goes inactive or you need to disable access to the account by your client, you can press that Disable button to disable it. And once you do, the message on that button will change to Enable so that you can re-enable the account when you need to. Now, we'll use Carey Orthopedics as my test case, and let's just pretend I've just added Carey Orthopedics as a new account. You'll notice I've got all the data filled in my Office Details screen. Once you do that, the system does a number of really neat things to help accelerate and make the setup process easier for you, especially with larger clinics. Let me tell you what it does. So in the User Manager, where users are added, and I'll click now and choose Carey Orthopedics, it creates for me these three master roles: a master manager, provider, and staff. And what you'll notice is that over here in the permissions area, it presets for you all of the permissions. Now we've got suggested permissions loaded in, and if you'd like to alter those to kind of change the master, you certainly can. For example, let's say for Carey Orthopedics, with the office staff, they really don't want the staff to view the inbox because that's where the providers do their reviewing and e-signing. So I can change that permission and press Save, and from that point on, anytime I add staff, office staff, the office staff that are added will retain those permissions, just like we see here. Now, let me show you where that really starts to come in handy. And that's with the bulk import. So if I want to add a large group of physicians, let's say, to the account, I can do that automatically. And there's a couple of different ways I can do it. Let me bring Carey's website over. Now you'll notice here I've got this list of physicians and specialists that I need to add to the account. Rather than having to do those one by one, there's a couple of ways I can do it with this system. I can go in and just grab them. So all I did there was I placed my cursor in the top left corner, I held down my left mouse clicker, I just dragged and highlighted everybody, I come over and I click copy, and now I come back to the account, and in this bulk import window, I just paste. And when I paste, all of those physicians drop in, and as you can see, the system automatically parses the data and places it in the appropriate spots. Now, in my copy paste, I grabbed this line called Spine Specialists off of the website. So let me scroll up and pull that out. It disappears. And you'll notice the system doesn't care about how many spaces are in there. It automatically knows to format the information correctly. Let's see if there's anything else I need to clean up. I'll take out this orthopedic providers at the top too. And now I'm ready to add my providers. Now, if I click Save All, they'll save. But first what I want to do is tell the system what role. And so I choose the care provider role. And when I do, you'll notice that the roles column fills in, and whatever email address was in the master provider loads as well. So in this case, the physicians aren't going to use the WebChartMD portal. They're going to process their work through their EHR. So therefore, they don't need to receive the welcome email where they create their own username and password. So in that case, I'll put in my own so that they don't receive an email that they don't understand since they're not using the system. And I could click Save All right now, and those will all automatically load. But there's another option I want to show you that's also pretty neat. And I'm going to click the Clear button. And you can do the same thing. If you've ever accidentally grabbed the wrong batch of data, you can click Clear to just remove it all. Now, in this case with CareOrtho, let me bring my spreadsheet over. They actually do want to use the WebChartMD portal. And so in my spreadsheet, if I'm going to upload from a spreadsheet, I would have each of their email addresses already loaded. You can see in this case, since it's a test, we have one of our team members' email addresses in there as well. Now, this particular client also has what's called an interface ID, and that's the ID that connects the user to their Epic or Allscripts or whatever their EHR might be. That's a standard part of an interface. And they're also phone users, and so I want the system to automatically load in their phone IDs for me. And in this case, the system supports both an ID and a PIN or passcode. Many facilities don't use a passcode, but for the sake of this illustration, I'm going to have some with and some without so you can see what that looks like when I load them in. Now, I want to just upload these 22 dictators. You'll notice there's a header row, and the header row is what tells the system where to load the data, but it doesn't care what order the columns are in as long as there's a column header. So let me just grab my data, and I'm going to copy it to stick it on my clipboard. Here I am back at my bulk upload window, bulk import. I just do my paste. They all load in, and the phone ID and the interface ID gets seen at another screen. So I'm going to show you what those look like in a second. Here's my role down here for care provider. I click that. You'll notice all of the unique email addresses will load. In my case, as I mentioned, they all had our staff email address in there. All of the roles list and load as well. And I'm ready, so I'm going to click Save All. And when I do, you'll notice that one by one, the names turn white from blue, letting me know that they've loaded successfully. Boom, they're done. Now that they're in, let's see what they did, what the system did. First of all, in the Associate Care Provider screen, it loaded them all. And as you'll notice from my new ones, here are the various physicians I loaded. The master template already told the system to only give providers permission to themselves, which is the standard feature of the system and what's typically required. In the Care Provider Manager, the system went in and loaded the routing assignment that was in the master, and I'm actually going to do a change to that and show you what it looks like when a change is made. In the line settings, the system went in, and you can see here's the master provider was set at a net 65 with spaces and template characters. So everybody else that loads in inherits those line settings. So you can see that when you have a large account, all of the different setup things that you normally would have to do, those are all done automatically. And then in the template manager, what the system has done is if there were templates, and let's go to Carry Ortho, if there were any templates already uploaded in the all providers of user, then all of those templates would also populate out to all of the new doctors that I added, so that they too will inherit all of the templates that you had previously set up. Okay, now through the magic of the pause button, I've gone in and deleted those providers out of Carry Orthopedics so that I can show you how the pool settings would work. So now that I've added Carry Orthopedics as a new account, I can go into the pool settings and create my routing assignment for Carry Orthopedics. Now, when I first go into Carry Orthopedics, there are no pools currently set up. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to create the pool for Carry Orthopedics. So I'm going to call it Carry Ortho. All dictators will be added. So let's clarify that a bit. The Carry Ortho pool. And I'm going to create that pool so that it now shows up on my list of pools that are available to me. And I'm going to go in and make my MT assignment. So let's do that. So here's my Carry Ortho pool, and I make my assignments to add my team members to that pool, and that pool is now created. Now that that pool is created, let's go and assign that pool to my master care provider for Carry Ortho. So I'm going to come back to my care provider manager, and let's look at Carry Orthopedics. Here's my master provider, and I come and make my assignment to Carry Ortho, and now my master provider for Carry Ortho is automatically assigned to this pool, okay? So that when I come back, and let's go back now and re-add my providers, and you'll see what happens to them. So here I am in my user manager. Here are my existing masters. Let's go back and grab that spreadsheet. So I'll copy it. I will dump it in. I'll click the care provider role. I'll click Save All. And one by one, those save. And now that I've added all of my providers for Carry Ortho, when I come to my Care Provider Manager screen and come to Carry Orthopedics, you can see that everybody has picked up that assignment from the master. Now that doesn't prevent me from changing any individual assignments. So here's Christopher Barnett. He really has a pretty wicked Ohio accent, and he can only be typed by Darlene. So if I want to make a change and customize anything that's been bulk set, I can do that. The same thing for line settings. So here I am in line settings. Here's Carry Ortho. Everybody has inherited the net 65 from the master, but for Clyde Jensen, he doesn't let me bill him for template characters, but I do bill him for headers and footers. I can make those changes, and those are unique for Dr. Jensen, whereas everybody else at the practice has inherited the line settings from the master. That's a quick look at some of the features of the account manager. We're going to be holding training sessions this week, a couple of different times during the week, where we'll be able to interact and answer any questions that you might have regarding the new feature. Thanks so much.